You've now played a villain in Harry Potter, Marvel, James Bond, and now Indiana Jones. Why do you love villains so much?
They love me.
Mads Mikkelsen. This man's aura is simply unmatched. Most people will know him as Hannibal Lecter, serving his guests human meat. Or remember his poker face in Casino Royale, rivaling against James Bond. Over the years, he has become Hollywood's favorite European villain, being cast in many major franchises, from the MCU in Doctor Strange to Fantastic Beasts in Indiana Jones. But what if I told you Mads isn't just a villain? Pinning Mads down to just a guy that plays villains is like eating a slice of pineapple pizza and saying you know Italian cuisine. While Hollywood often casts him as the villain, back in Denmark, Mads Mikkelsen is a national treasure. And if you dive a little deeper, you'll discover an actor who's way more versatile, weird, and compelling than his typecast would suggest. So today, I want to shine some light on the career of Mads Mikkelsen, to show you why this man is Europe's coolest actor.
Are you ready? Clap.
Also, if you want to get some epic merch from your favorite movies and directors, check out our webshop because we are fully stocked again. Now let's get into the video. Mads Mikkelsen was born on the 22nd of November of 1965 in Østerbro, Denmark. Before his iconic villain roles, Mads Mikkelsen was a gymnast with the ambition of pursuing athletics.
And then... Shit.
Scheiße. Mein Arsch ist zu fett.
Later on, he studied to become a dancer, where he also met his wife.
I'm a private dancer. A dancer for money. It's going to cost you a lot to see that again.
As you can see, this man is a real-life Sporticus. If acting or dancing didn't work out, he could also become a professional football player.
If Barcelona calls me tomorrow and asks me to play football, I'll do it.
Mads is not the type to speak too much, but he does know how to use his presence. Early on, Mads learned how to use his body to act and use it as a form of communication. He pursued dancing for almost a decade before turning to study drama and starting his acting career. Thanks to his athletic background, Mads is able to do most of the stunts himself, although he does have a stunt double for some of them. His dancing skills give him this elegant and subtle physicality on screen. Honestly, not many actors can make a drunken middle-aged dancing dad look poetic. Mads' breakout role came in 1996 with a low-budget Danish crime film called Pusher, directed by Nicholas Winding Refn, the same man who would later direct Drive with Ryan Gosling. This movie became an international success, in which Mads plays Tony, a tattooed low-level dealer in the underbelly of Copenhagen, who's constantly messing things up. Mads' character wasn't yet scary in the traditional sense, but more annoying and unpredictable. A wannabe tough guy with a tattoo that says respect on the back of his head, but ironically, no one respects him.
It was a tricky thing to go back to a character that was so annoying. I mean, he was just very annoying to be around, also for me. There was a part of me that was like, I don't really want to do that, you know. But then, shaved your head and you got the tattoo and it's just like, I like him. He's such an idiot. Let's go.
Du skal stå stille, men det der, kom nu her.
Hvis du rammer mig, mand.
This is where it all started, with a character that's not really a villain, but definitely not a hero. A character so interesting and weird you can't look away from, because of Mads' performance. Nicholas Refn would later say that Mads gave him authenticity. He wasn't just a performer, he brought a certain truth to the role. In a weird way, his breakout role is at the same time a sort of blueprint for many more of Mads' characters to come. Men who are dangerous, unpredictable, and often on the outskirts of society. Pusher became an international success, and so naturally, Hollywood entered the conversation. 10 years later, the reboot of James Bond needed a villain, and Hollywood had their eyes on Mads Mikkelsen. In 2006, Mads was cast as Le Chiffre in Casino Royale, and became one of the greatest Bond villains of the 21st century.
To the right! To the right! You are a funny man, Mr. Bond.
His performance is very subtle. He doesn't yell, nor does he talk like a cartoon villain. Instead, he is quiet, calculating, and above all, he is a man with class. There's a specific coldness to Le Chiffre that's terrifying, the way he plays poker like he's dissecting Bond's soul. And Mads doesn't really play him like an evil mastermind, he plays him more like a man who's scared of failure, who is in debt to even worse people. And that's what makes the villain so human.
Do you believe in God, Mr. Le Chiffre?
No. I believe in a reasonable rate of return.
He's a normal person. He's not taking over the world. He's not one of those guys. He's in it for the money, and if Bond didn't bump into his way, they would never have met. It's not that he's after anyone. So obviously he's vulnerable. There's people above him, people who are used to violence in a different way than he is. And it's a different kind of villain, that's for sure.
It's a theme in many of Mads' roles. Even when he's the villain, he is grounded. This also meant that after Casino Royale, Hollywood decided that this European man with sharp cheekbones would become the go-to villain for Hollywood's franchises.
For well beyond time, because time is what enslaves us. Time is an insult. Death is an insult.
For example, in 2016 he played Caecilius, the villain in Doctor Strange. While Mads absolutely hated the makeup he had to wear for hours on end every day, he loved that he would finally be able to do some stunts himself. And this is where his background in gymnastics and dance would come in handy.
So I get a little disappointed, like I did little in the Bond film, when I realized that the biggest stunt I was doing in that film was to fold two aces. It was like, this is not right. Do they know how good I am at this? Can I get a chopper scene where, you know? So I got fulfilled with flying kung fu and wires and stuff. It was really fun to be part of.
In 2022, he played the villain in Fantastic Beasts, replacing Johnny Depp as the Dark Wizard Grindelwald. Instead of copying Johnny Depp's character, he decided to make the villain his own character, because according to Mads, it would be creative suicide to do so.
Det der med at kopiere nogle andre, som har gjort det virkelig godt før.
By doing this, Mads once again succeeds in making a villain grounded. Just like the followers in the movie, this Danish wizard charms us while hiding his dangerous cruelty until it's too
Do
late.
you really intend to turn your back on your own kind for these animals? With or without you, I'll burn down their world, Albus. There's nothing you can do to stop me.
And in 2023, he plays Jürgen Wolle, a Nazi scientist in Indiana Jones, bringing a certain dandiness to the role of the villain, which was based on a real person.
Werner von Braun in particular. And it was interesting to see, you know, he had a little curve in his hair, cool glasses, and he was just walking around, you know, people and working with Americans as if there was no past.
Even if the script isn't always amazing, Mads brings dignity, danger, and a weird sensuality to every role he plays. Because unlike many actors who perform evil, Mads wears it like a tailored suit and becomes a believable person. But before Mads became Hollywood's main villain of choice, he was known for playing the character of Hannibal. On paper, this show should not have worked. It's a prequel to The Silence of the Lambs that aired on network TV. Yet it became one of the most beautifully shot and disturbingly artistic shows of the past decade. And a huge part of that is Mads Mikkelsen's aura.
Before we begin, you must all be warned. Nothing here is vegetarian. Bon appetit.
His take on Hannibal Lecter is radically different from Anthony Hopkins. He is not theatrical, but instead he is very subtle, polished, and controlled. A predator who looks at you like he's tasting wine. His Hannibal is the kind of man who would cook you dinner and then tell you halfway through dessert that you've just eaten your neighbor, and somehow you would still give him 5 stars.
What am I about to put in my mouth?
Rabbit.
He should have hopped faster.
Yes, he should have. But fortunately for us, he did not. Good soup.
Mads plays Hannibal with a mix of charm, intellect, and madness. The relationship with Will Graham becomes this twisted, almost romantic obsession, and their chemistry is off the charts. It's the ultimate example of where Mads takes something horrifying and makes it hypnotic. Mads proved to us how his charisma can make horror look beautiful. But even if Mads is not playing a literal villain, sometimes he is still seen as one. In 2012, Mads played in a movie called The Hunt, which is arguably his best performance to date. In this Danish drama, he plays a kindergarten teacher falsely accused of abusing a young girl. In the small community he lives in, people slowly turn against him. We watch his life slowly being undone by this single false accusation. Suddenly, Mads is playing a different kind of monster. Not someone who is dangerous, but someone who looks like a villain in the eyes of others. This is where you see Mads at his most vulnerable. But it isn't melodramatic. Instead, he tells us a story without many words. In fact, he barely speaks in some scenes, but his eyes tell you everything, portraying his pain, his fear, and isolation, despite being a good man. This performance won him the Best Actor award at Cannes. Mads Mikkelsen shows us what it feels like to be seen as monstrous and carry the knowledge of your own innocence like an unbearable weight. Now, in order to light things up a little bit, Mads played in a movie called Another Round. The premise of this movie is simple. Life is better with a few percentages of alcohol in your body. This became Mads' most iconic recent roles, and it's also the perfect example of his versatility. He plays a high school teacher stuck in a midlife crisis who agrees to a challenge with his colleagues to find out if life is indeed better with a few beers a day. Now, even though it might appear like a movie about a bunch of guys turning into alcoholics, which it kinda is, it's also a movie about freedom, purpose, and losing control. There's something so honest about how Mads plays this man. He's not a hero, he's not a villain, he's just a lost dude, trying to find joy again. The most iconic moment of the movie is the ending scene where we see Mads going back into his element of being a dancer. It's a bit goofy, but also quite liberating, showing you everything you need to know about Mads as an actor. He is not afraid to look ridiculous. The thing with Mads is, he doesn't need dialogue to act. His Danish face does most of the work. His eyes can go from warmth to terror in a few seconds. We see this in his 2018 survival movie called Arctic, where he barely speaks at all. Being stranded in a frozen wasteland, there is no villain, no big action sets, no monologue, just Mads trying to survive. Mads' acting isn't always about more. Most of the time, it's about restraint. When others go big, Mads goes quiet. It's not just that Mads can play villains, heroes, or weirdos, it's that he plays them all as believable people. They are all flawed, complex, and unpredictable characters, never fully good or bad.
A good villain is just somebody all actors wants to dive into. I mean, if you can find the humanity of the character, it will become interesting.
Mads Mikkelsen isn't your typical movie star. He is a man of a few words, but with 1,000 different faces. Because the truth is, he is not just a villain. He is a dancer, a comedian, a tragic hero, and a man who can turn silence into cinema. Now, if you want to watch another movie from Nicholas Winding Refn, the man who directed the Pusher trilogy, I highly recommend checking out Beauty Is Not a Sin and Touch of Crude, which are currently streaming on Mubi. Not only in my country, the Netherlands, but in many other countries. Mubi is a curated streaming service dedicated to elevating great cinema from all around the globe. From iconic directors to emerging auteurs, there's always something new to discover. And the best thing is that they are all carefully handpicked by Mubi curators, allowing you to discover the best cinema at your fingertips, streaming anytime, anywhere.
I work anytime, anywhere. We work Jewish holidays? Anytime, anywhere.
You can try Mubi free for 30 days at mubi.com/docinema. That's mubi.com/docinema for an entire month of great cinema for free.